So I just got through watching Sloan's video that he posted a couple hours ago where someone attacked him, and you can see there's like blood and scratches on his neck. And I have a lot to say about the video because, you know, I consider Sloan to be a friend of mine, and I feel like this was like coming, but not like, how can I explain it to you? So if you don't know what's going on, Sloan went out to a nightclub in Hollywood. He went to the restroom. He, you know, went to go relieve himself. Some guy walked in, essayed him. I mean, it is what it is. And they left. There was an altercation outside. Sloan, I feel like Sloan ultimately like kicked his ass, pulled his wig off, and the guy got kicked out, and ultimately that guy ended up getting jumped later on. And so I'm gonna roll you a little clip.
Funny, I guess, like, sure, but like, what the, like, it's so embarrassing and just like so demoralizing, like, especially because this guy's so actively trying to attack me because I did not appreciate him grabbing my private parts, which are my private parts, not like it's private for a reason. So then after the wig was snatched, I was like, I need to get out of here. I need this to stop. And thankfully there's great security at this bar. Like, we've had other people.
Met Sloan several times. And what I find what's fascinating about Sloan is that as big as he is as a channel and as many views as he gets, he tends to like go places alone. Like the times I've met him, he's always been alone. And like, although that's super like relatable and that's, I get it, but at the same time, like, I rarely go places alone, and if I do, it's like a quick in and out type vibe. So I've always found that interesting that he, goes places alone, doesn't have like, I'm not saying that he needs to have a whole team of security, or just like maybe he's like a friend with them like at times, because most of the time when people meet me, I usually like have someone with me, or like someone I can confide in, or someone that's like on the payroll or the clock or something like that.
Like, it's just embarrassing. I was scratched up. I was scratched up here at one point. I don't remember when this scratch happened, but like, ow, oh, it just still hurts. And like, there's, I don't know how to describe like the bruise. Ow, it's like, yeah, it's right. Is that it? It's like right around here. Ooh, it's right here. It's just like there's certain parts on my bones that hurt so badly that when I tried to work out today, it just hurts. And I was bleeding. My shirt was ripped up. My head was my biggest concern because I was like, I have a concussion. I haven't hit my head like this, since I was like, I feel like since I was like 5 years old, like I don't hit my head like that. So,
and if you like ever like really met me, you've seen some of the people who are like behind the scenes that, are the extra hands. They keep things going and moving smoothly, because when you post videos every single day on multiple channels and other platforms, like it gets to be overwhelming. And so all that to say this is, I don't think Sloan did anything wrong. I don't, because I seen some people in the comments are saying like, oh, he's always in drama, this was gonna happen. He posted pictures on his Instagram of like a place he was with. I'm not sure if that's the where he was at or whatever, but I feel like he does have a case if he wanted to press charges for assault or SA if he wanted to, but I don't know if he's gonna do that or not. But it's ultimately like a worst nightmare. You try to go out, have a good time. I don't know if maybe that guy thought that Sloan was hitting on him or making a pass, so he felt like it was okay to do that. But oftentimes, like when you go to nightclubs, people are like a little handsy and they want to like touch on you as you move through the crowd. But in this instance, the guy like literally went up to him in the restroom and like grabbed him. And from what it seemed like when Sloan said it, it wasn't something that he was like, hey, it wasn't like a hookup or like cruising the restroom or anything like that. So I just feel bad for him, because that is like a worst case scenario. And usually, I think a lot of people sometimes, like when they go to the restroom, like, hey, go with me to the restroom. Like they kind of like do that. Like they go with a friend or like a little buddy system or something like that, just in case something happens or something like that doesn't happen. And it's just like a reminder, like even in Sloan's video, he said that he got way too comfortable and how he's been moving. And I have to agree. I think Sloan maybe did get too comfortable, and that's why he doesn't like just felt the need to go to the restroom with somebody or have somebody with him or things like that. But also at the same time, like, when you do the celebrity news, the gossip, the entertainment news, you know, you could become a target. I think the guy knew Sloan. Like, I think the guy knew what Sloan did and what he does on YouTube. Like, based on how, like, the story went down. But it's never okay to put your hands on anybody. That's never, like, I don't condone the violence of that at all. I think it's horrible what happened to Sloan. He doesn't deserve it. But at the same time, I think Sloan should also be a little bit more protective of himself. He shouldn't have to be, but it's the world that we live in. There's a lot of crazy people out there. He should really move differently, have someone go with him to the restroom and things like that. But if it's a place that you frequent a lot, if it's a place like a club, bar, or lounge that you go to a lot, you feel somewhat safe, like somewhat like a safe space. So you feel like, oh, I just go to the restroom real quick. I don't need someone to go with me, but you still need to, like, it's the world that we live in. You still need to be on guard. And I don't know if it's like a male or a female thing, but I notice that most women tend to like do things with their friends. Like they'll go to the restroom together, they'll go powder their nose together, they'll go to the bar together, they move like in packs or in packs of two. Where somewhat in the guys sometimes don't do that. The guys will just go on their own sometimes. And I just think that I don't think that we live in that world anymore. I think we have to like move together. Okay, so if you watch the video back, like the way Sloan is moving and how he's acting, like he looks visibly distraught. And I don't want to be rude, but it almost seems like he's like traumatized by the situation. I don't think that, you know, Sloan's a big guy. He has big muscles and stuff, but I don't think he gets into altercations and fights and brawls and stuff like that. So I think the whole thing kind of threw him off. And when I'm watching it, you could just visibly tell that this guy is afraid and he doesn't like get into confrontation. The times that I've hung around Sloan, he's not a confrontation guy. And he really avoids it. And yeah, so I was watching it back in the editing, and I was like, yeah, like you can just really tell this guy's really scared. Right. And so when I saw what happened, I texted Sloan like condolences and I you know what I thought about the situation and stuff. So I don't know if he's okay because I haven't heard back from him, but I'm pretty sure he is okay. But I just texted him earlier, so we'll see what happens. But you know, if you see him, send him lots of love because he seemed kind of shooken up and he seemed like he was like disturbed that it happened. Like, I can't believe this happened here at this place. Like, I got that whole vibe about that. Like, he just seemed kind of like, I can't believe that this happened. So, I don't know. The whole situation is scary. I'm not going to say it's weird because stuff like that sadly happens all the time. In nightclubs, lounges, and bars, it happens all the time. Many people just don't go home and make YouTube videos about it. But it happened. It doesn't, I can say like when I go out, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go to the restroom, go with me. Let's go back to the little section that we got or whatever. I kind of just move differently. People make fun of me for it all the time. Like, why do you have this person with you all the time? Or why do you always have these people with you? Like, it's just, to me, I see it as like a safety thing because you never know what you might have said to someone that upset them, some crazy fan. Like, you know, I get it all the time, even on TikTok, where it's like, you know, you're a hater, you're jealous of Michaela, you're jealous of James Charles. Like, you get these rabid fans that really support them. And you know, my response is like, you're over here defending someone who doesn't even know that you exist, okay? Like, shut up. So it's the fans that really, it happens. Like, it really does happen. Like, I literally was I don't want to say where I was, but I was at this one place and this woman walks up to me. She was like, oh my God, you're Rich Lux. And I was like, oh yeah, I thought she was like happy to see me. She instantly like switched it on and she was like, you're always talking ish about Michaela. You need to stop. You're so rude. And I was like, whoa. And I said, you know what, ma'am? I appreciate you. I hear you. But you have to understand, it's just a gig. It's just comedy. It's not that deep. Like, it's not. Michaela doesn't even talk with that accent like that. It's all hyped up for views. There's a lot of fake beef going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're falling for stuff that, come on. Okay? And so when I told her that, she kind of like, whoa. She was kind of, I guess she wanted me to like combat her or whatever. Then we would have been rolling around on the floor. But I don't know. I just feel it was sad that to be in West Hollywood at the nightclubs, that still happened. And guess what? It's going to happen tonight. It's going to happen again next week. Not to Sloan, but to somebody else. It's just one of those things that happen. And when I went to Hollywood every single time that I go, it's always just the rapid people who just casually, I'm literally in the restroom, go take a leak, and there's guys in there, hey, you want to take a bump? So casually. Never met me, don't know me, I could be undercover cop. No, don't know me, hey, you want to take a bump? I'm just like, what? It's just like, it's like water. And so what I'm trying to say is the person who I think went up to Sloan, I wouldn't be surprised if that person was on some type of substance beyond alcoholic substance, because I see it. And if you're in the scene and you go out a lot, then you see it. You see the people blatantly on the dance floor, you know, dudes and stuff like that. And you're just like, wow, really? Right here in front of everybody? It's just so, like, I just, even till this day when I see it, I'm still like, wow. Like, it hasn't, I'm not conditioned to it yet. So I'm just kind of like, okay. I can't believe that it's so freely to do it and then pass it around and have some people do it. Like, no, that stuff ruins people's lives. And it also puts you in risky situations, or you might also just flip and want to go SA somebody in the restroom at a nightclub. So I don't know, I think the whole thing was a bad look for that person. And I think that Sloan is shooken up by it, and the fact that he has all these scratches on his body, you know, it's probably gonna leave a scar. It just looks gross. Like, it just looks bad. It looks bad on Sloan because now people are gonna think that he's always fighting, he's always in drama. You know what I'm saying? It's like stuff like that. Like, I can already see the comments. Like, there's gonna be people who are like really love and support Sloan, but then there's the other side of it. We're gonna say like, that didn't even happen. He scratched himself. This is fake for views. Like, you know, that whole gig, like, it happens all the time. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, but I'm pretty sure someone watching this video probably has had a similar situation of someone groping you at a nightclub, whether you're a female or a male or anyone in between. Like, it's almost like some type of culture that people just assume that they can touch and grab because you're dressed provocatively, and that's not the case. That's like a woman who has big boobs. You feel like, oh, I can just touch them because she has big boobs. Like, no, you can't do that. You're supposed to ask, and even that's kind of rude sometimes, and like, given the situation that you're in. So anyways, let me know what you think about all that in the comments down below. I really want to know what you guys think about the whole Sloan thing. I hope Sloan is okay. It's a positive vibe, and it's serious. I think it's serious. It's a serious thing. I mean, the SA went down, someone got hurt, there was fights, blood, scratches, punches. Like, it was a big deal. It was a big deal. Like, it's not something that happens. And to know Sloan, the times that we've met, he's not a person who engages in fights. He's not a person who is actively trying to fight people. And matter of fact, he seems like the type to try to avoid it. Like, hey, you know what? The vibe in here is kind of off. We should get out of here type situation. So the fact that it escalated this far, I think a lot of people are shook by it, because that's not who he is. He doesn't like fight people, and I don't think he initiated it. I think it went down the way it went down.
5 years old, like, I don't hit my head like that. So I go outside, and the guy is escorted out, and he did not have his hair on. I don't know if he had it in his hand. He did leave bald-headed, which is, again, we love bald. But yeah, very creepy, and I was just really shaken up, and people were checking on me, but I was just like, at that point, like, my head was in so much pain that I just, like, couldn't even, like, relax. Like, I was like, I need to go home. Like, I don't know if I need to go to a doctor. I haven't had healthcare in 3 years. Like, I actually just got healthcare in October. Thank God for moments like this. So after he left, there was this guy in that place. So, like I told you guys earlier, I want to tell you when parts of the story, like, I'm not 100% sure about, because this part, I didn't see it happen, but I was told it by multiple people, including the person who is assuming the role. So this guy was outside of the bar the entire time that this fight had happened. And like I mentioned earlier, the bar is an outside area, so you can see kind of like right in. And he's a big guy. But he wasn't in the bar. And he wasn't in the bar because, from my understanding, he is banned. I don't know what he did, but he's banned from the bar. And again, I don't know who this guy is at all. So he's banned, and then I think I'm gonna have to, like, redo this clip. I'm gonna have to, like, turn it off and turn it back on. So this guy's out there, and he sees the entire thing happen. And I guess, from my understanding, he went away for about 20 minutes. And at this point, everyone's asking what happened. I'm explaining to it. I'm talking to the security. I'm talking about, you know, filing the report. I guess, like, so the bar, like, will file reports on behalf of you. Something along those lines. So that guy leaves and he comes back and he claims that he followed the guy down a few blocks. And again, I didn't see this, so I don't know if it happened. I don't know why he'd lie about it, but he claims that he went there and then he had a very, I don't know how to describe this because I don't want to say he jumped him, but that's what they said.
And I feel bad for Sloan. I don't feel bad for the other guy. So anyways, let me know what you think about that in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys later.